Everyone, remain calm.
Back for more, huh?
Oh, yeah. That's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
Somebody talk to me! What is happening?
Welcome to Jurassic World.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Jurassic Park Podcast.
How long is it going to take for that to spread around the globe?
This was all John Hammond's dream. Hold on to your butts.
Seriously? Well, we're back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 196th episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Jost, and we're here to discuss all things Jurassic Park. So I hope everybody had a great 4th of July weekend here in the States. Also, a big congratulations to the USA women's soccer team for the big World Cup win. That was incredible. Watched the entire run to victory. Really, really incredible stuff. And also, speaking of watching stuff, I hope everybody enjoyed Stranger Things Season 3 this weekend. That is also absolutely incredible. I think there was actually tons of Jurassic Park references in there. So if you watched Season 3, check it out. If you didn't, there's some really cool JP references. But in this episode, we need to talk about Jurassic World, the ride. So the ride officially soft opened this past week with a ton of people having ridden it already. And we got to talk about it. Spoilers and all. So if you don't want to know anything about the ride, just skip this episode entirely. But if you don't care about ride spoilers, then just join in on the fun. We've got a ton of stuff ahead. So before all that, we have some business to take care of over on YouTube. We're actually going to take it back 2 weeks or so. I don't know how long this was. Back on June 28th, we actually premiered a video. Tom Fishenden took a look at these awesome Jurassic Park playing cards from Fnatic. They're really, really cool. So if you want to see what these playing cards are all about, go check out that video. Guys, I got to tell you, I did receive the John Hammond exclusive San Diego Comic-Con item from Mattel. Now, that item is very, very cool. And I am so appreciative that Mattel sent this item to us. And at the moment, we're, one of very few people around the globe to have this item. It feels very, very strange, but we put out this video showcasing the item, gave our review, we unboxed the item. I know I unboxed it, I opened it up, I'm sorry, but it was too cool. It came in that really, really cool exclusive package, and the item itself is just something that I have been waiting 26 years for this item. And, we've never had one like this before, and it is finally here, sort of. I know, there's a huge controversy surrounding it, and I have, been outspoken about how the item was mishandled with its release and announcement and stuff like that. So I am not one to shy away from that aspect of this figure here. But I will say that it is a beautiful item. I love the entire thing. So please go check out that review. And thank you again so much to Mattel for sending that exclusive item directly to us. It really means a lot. So I'm very appreciative of that. So again, check out that video. I also did premiere another video over on YouTube, just kind of showcasing the Jurassic World Snap Squad. So you guys know those little finger puppet dinosaur things, not puppets, but they kind of clamp onto your fingers. The Jurassic World Snap Squad guys, they're awesome. My kid loves them, and I know a lot of people were asking me, after I did my review of these items, to showcase them, as far as what you can actually do with them. So over the past few weeks, me and my son and my family, we've been going around all different places, whether it's just an outside barbecue or to a theme park or just strolling around. We carry these things around and we film them any chance we could get. And I think you guys will like the video. It's kind of cute. My kid is in it, and we had some fun in the sun with these Jurassic World Snap Squad figures. So check out that video. And also, lastly, over on YouTube, I've been trying to do these a lot more. Actually, I've been trying to do them every week. So we do a Let's Talk Jurassic series over on YouTube, which is our live stream. So I try to do this every week where I live stream talking about Jurassic with you guys directly. So if you want to talk basically one-to-one in this situation where, you're watching me on YouTube, we can have that conversation. We could talk about whatever Jurassic stuff you guys want to talk about. And this week, we actually talked all about Jurassic World, the ride. So kind of similar to what we're going to do here in this episode, I know, but I'm doing it all over again. This is all brand new content yet again. So if you want to watch that one, please go ahead, because this will be different. What you're going to hear soon coming up here is going to be completely different. I don't even know what it's going to be. I haven't recorded it yet. So I'll try not to duplicate any of the conversations too much. But go check out that video. I live streamed it, so my face was in it most of the time. I'm really trying to figure out this broadcasting system so you can see me talk about these items. You can actually see the things in the background. I'm trying to showcase them on the screen as well. So if we're talking about something, I want it in the frame so you guys have a frame of reference as to what's going on. So I'm really trying to work at this system here, this new program, and try to figure it all out. So it's a little glitchy in that video. I had some slight issues, but we worked through it and we got through the entire thing, and it was a lot of fun. So go check out that Let's Talk Jurassic World, the ride. But yeah, that was it. And this week, again, who knows? Hopefully we'll have some toy reviews. I have a stack of items I need to be reviewing for you guys. I've been really slacking as far as the content is concerned over on YouTube. I think this live stream thing has kind of consumed me a little bit, so I'm trying to really focus and build that up, and I think we've done a good job so far. So keep checking out over on YouTube. Please go subscribe. It really means a lot. Comments, share everything around. It means a ton to our channel over there, so go check that out. But enough of all that. Why don't we head over to Main Street and talk about Jurassic World, the ride.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
And there's no doubt our attractions will drive kids out of their minds. This park was not built to cater only for the super rich.
What, we'll have a coupon day or something?
You should have spent a day at the beach, get some sun.
None of these attractions are ready yet, of course. Really spectacular, spared no expense.
Enjoy the ride.
Can't you stop these things? I'm sorry, it's kind of a ride.
All major theme parks have delays. Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down and pirates don't eat the tourists.
Sorry, folks. Ride's closed. Come on, guys. I just work here.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Main Street. Today, we are going to be looking at Jurassic World, the ride, out at Universal Studios Hollywood. You guys have heard us talk about this thing so much. And today, we're going to talk about what the attraction actually is in its soft openings, its technical rehearsals. So I know a lot of you have seen that the ride is open. It is and it isn't. It's kind of like, if it's open, go ahead, go ride it. It might not always be open when you go there. So I don't know if you're rushing out there to go test out the ride, but there's a chance it may not be operating if you get out there. It's a soft opening or a technical rehearsal, as they're called. Basically, if there's anybody in the park, they'll go ahead and open it up and say, you guys can come ride this thing for a certain period of time because we need to get this thing operating at its full capacity by the time we go ahead and open up this ride for good. We need to work out the kinks. We need to make sure everything is operating fully and ready to go for the big grand opening. So they have whoever's in the park at that time just be like, just roaming around that area. And in this case, they're actually putting it up on the board so you know how the wait time is looking and everything like that. So, this is up and running for the time being. I can't guarantee that every day forward here it will be open, but I don't know, especially because we don't know, as far as this recording date, we don't know when the ride is officially opening. Maybe that'll change by the time this releases, who knows. But the word on the street is maybe later on in July, sometime it will open up officially with a big grand reveal. But right now, these soft openings are happening, and I think they started, I think it was either July 4th or July 3rd, somewhere right around there. They officially started letting people into the attraction to the surprise of everybody. We didn't know that this was going to be happening right now, but they have been testing with employees and stuff like that, and then out of nowhere, it opens up for, I think it was also employees and VIP tours and stuff like that. And then the next day it was full, or it might have even been later that afternoon, soft openings for whoever's in the area. So it's been very, very cool to see the reactions, see what people have been saying. And we'll get to that, I think, a little bit more later on after we take a look at the ride itself. But the land has been kind of opening in phases here and there. The walls eventually came down. The land opened up. The bars were announced and revealed as to what they're going to be serving. And then literally that same day, they're like, "Hey, come on down. We're opened up. It's crazy. You can come out and test out these drinks, try the food, and all that stuff." So that was a pretty wild ride when they announced that stuff, and then literally that same day everything was opened up. But shortly after that, we see these dinosaurs roaming around the area. So you get Blue officially opening up at the Raptor Encounter area, and it seems to be, as far as I can tell, the same kind of meet and greet where Blue is just out in the open. I was hoping that Blue would be kind of obscured by plants and trees and stuff like that, but that does not seem to be the case. And then we also did get a insanely cute baby raptor with the trainer there holding the baby raptor, so you can come up and pet the thing. It is so incredibly cute and amazing looking, so I am very excited about the inclusion of that thing. I know, I don't know what Hollywood has done before, but down in Orlando, they actually have a small meet and greet with the little baby Triceratops, and that's been really, really cool. But this is even better. Super awesome looking puppet, very beautiful and realistic looking. And then we also got the inclusion of a ginormous Triceratops that just roams around the park. It's incredible. Now, I know this Triceratops or ones like it, have been implemented in other parks around the world for Universal. And now it's officially here, and it looks really, really good. I'm loving the thing. I think it's a great addition. You're able to actually go up to it and kind of pet it and touch it. It's so cool and pretty realistic looking. I know there's been a lot of comparisons to the one out in Japan, and that one, while the skin and everything looks very textured and very cool, I'll say the body type of the one out in Hollywood looks a whole lot better. But so that's the land itself. It's pretty much fully opened as far as we can tell. Who knows? Maybe they'll be introducing new elements and new either meet and greets or little shows or showcases of these dinosaurs or things. So we'll see about that. But let's move on to the ride itself. Actually, why don't we start in the queue area, work our way into the attraction itself. So one of the cool things about the queue is they've updated that a lot as well, and they've added really, really cool graphics and stuff along the walls. And these graphics include all the dinosaurs that you'll either see. I don't know if I think there's some that you won't see and stuff like that. But it's really, really cool looking. They've got a lot of dinosaur facts and stuff, wild colors all over the place. It's very cool. A lot of size charts and stuff. But the very cool piece about the queue is the video system that they have rigged throughout the line, where you get to see B.D. Wong as Dr. Henry Wu. You see Bryce Dallas Howard as Claire Deering, and you see Chris Pratt as Owen Grady, all interacting. Maybe not B.D. Wong. I think he does his own thing, but Bryce and Chris interact, which is really cool. I honestly didn't expect scenes together, so that is really cool. But I do have, I think, a little clip here of B.D. Wong, so let's see if we can actually hear what's going on here. I know because of the audio level, a lot of these clips that I'm going to be playing for you guys might be a little tough to hear or a little loud, just because there's a lot of audience noise and stuff like that are in the crowd or in the line. So just bear with me, see if we can listen together. But this first one is these screens are very long, unlike any monitor that you've seen before. It's very cool. So let's take a listen here, see if we can hear B.D. Wong. So you see a Dilophosaurus. Oh, he's very quiet. New traits. Yeah, it's too quiet there. Yeah, that's a bummer. Sorry, it's a little quiet there. But what we're seeing is B.D. Wong dressed in his like Jurassic World attire. He looks just like Dr. Wu, and he's showcasing the different elements of the dinosaurs on so this long screen. He's on one end, and on the other end are, you know, different dinosaur renderings and stuff like that. One of them is like the trajectory of the Dilophosaurus spit, so that's pretty awesome. Very Jurassic World looking graphics, so stuff that you would see like in the control center or the you know, the different stations there around the park. There was something about what was it, a Stegosaurus. I don't know what he was talking about there. Yeah, there's actually a bunch of different dinosaurs there, but it's very, very cool looking videos, and it's good to see Dr. Henry Wu back in the franchise here. What else do we have? We have some more Q stuff, so bear with me again. Hopefully we can hear some stuff here and kind of play along with it. So here we go. So that one, actually this video here is from Inside Universal. They have a little walkthrough of the queue. So that first one is pretty cool. It's just a guy that's dressed oddly similar to Vic Hoskins from Jurassic World. He is in the control room, and it looks pretty spot on as far as I can tell without comparing the two side by side. It looks pretty spot on from the control center in Jurassic World. So it's got the giant monitor, you know, in the background. It's got all these different people at their own computer stations. And this guy's just kind of walking you through some stuff that experiences. It's cool. I like it. Dude with the giant beard. Got some more graphics here. Jurassic World Network. I guess Jurassic World Network has their own little catchphrase. Don't mess with the Rex. And it's cool. They're kind of treating it like a news network that you would probably see inside the park. So if you're, you know, at the resort or in a line or something like that, you would see this network playing constantly on loop. I like it. It's kind of like as if the Today Show or something like that was on Isla Nublar. But it's interesting because at this point, when they say, don't mess with the Rex, there's actually literally just a clip from the movie of the Rex, you know, roaring over top of Isla Nublar after it fell in Jurassic World. So it's interesting that a news station, a news network in Jurassic World on Isla Nublar would use a clip from the movie after the park fell. I'm confused. I'm kind of confused, but canon doesn't make any sense in this attraction, so please don't consider this canon whatsoever. But let's continue on here. Yeah, very cool. And then we have this is actually really cool. There's actually a news segment. Now that's Monica Baird interviews Claire Dearing. And like I'm saying, this, I'm pretty sure they just literally straight up took the graphics and everything from NBC, because Universal, NBC, it's all the same thing. So it looks like they used a lot of these same graphics. But it's cool because this sequence here that's in the Q video was literally filmed in the attraction. So the raptor paddock that you see later on in the ride, which we'll get to later, is actually here in this clip. And Bryce Dallas Howard walks in, and Owen Grady or Chris Pratt walks in. Here we go. See Claire. Awkward, very awkward. Here comes Owen. Messing with the control panel or something. So at this point in the video, Owen is like messing around with the control panels of the raptor paddock, which is the raptor paddock from the movie, from the first movie. It's from Jurassic Park, which is still in the attraction, which doesn't make much sense, but we'll get to that later. But he's messing around with it, and then the raptors start moving in the background, and they all look at them.
Tell us about Jurassic World's most
I love it. I love it. This is like quintessential Jurassic relationships here between Owen and Claire. It's absolutely perfect when she says the most impressive alpha creature or whatever she says. Let's take another listen here. Oh wait, going back a little bit more.
About Jurassic World's most impressive resident.
Someone talking about me?
Oh, what a lovely surprise. Joining us here is Owen Grady, animal behavior expert here at Jurassic World. Hello, Owen.
How are you, Monica? Always lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too.
So I actually love how Owen and Claire treat this as something that happens on a regular occurrence. Now, this is nothing that we got to experience from the movie itself. We didn't actually see these relationships between like a news network or anything. So it's kind of cool to see that maybe, we talk about Owen. Actually, we've done it a lot on The Wire that like Owen shouldn't be any kind of public face whatsoever. He's kind of like a guy, a trainer that works in the background with the dinosaurs. But if this is any indication, which I know I just said that this is not canon by any means, but we can kind of pull in and pick and choose what we want to kind of accept, I guess, right, for headcanon and stuff like that. But this would kind of indicate that maybe he does have more of a presence within the park because there's this news network, and maybe people in their rooms when they wake up in the morning are getting interviews about the dinosaurs, about the behavior and stuff like that from Owen Grady. So that's kind of interesting to maybe think about in the future. Let's go back in a second.
Always lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too. We're talking about an actual impressive president of Jurassic World, the Tyrannosaurus. Well, actually, how large is she?
Over 20 feet tall, 40 feet long, in excess of 30,000 pounds.
She has a charm more powerful than any creature that's ever lived.
This is
She's
cool.
a force of more than 12,000 pounds.
And
Very impressive indeed.
the great thing about this is the relationship, like I was talking about. Owen and Claire are definitely, obviously at this point, not getting along, and they're giving each other these like looks like, you're crazy. Like, what are you doing? Why are you here? How are we getting along? This is not good. I love this kind of stuff.
In comparison, what's the bite force of an adult human? About 200 pounds.
I think some work harder than others, right there. She runs in excess of 25 miles per hour, but I think it's her amazing strength that's kept her at the top of the food chain for all these millions of years.
I think there's probably a better way to put that. She has done more to inspire the public about dinosaurs than truly any other creature.
There's a better way to put that, which is up until Blue came.
Well, yes, but
So this is really interesting here. I hope you guys can hear all this. But they're talking about something about the most impressive creature up until Blue came. So they were actually telling the park audience that Blue is a thing, which is not something we ever expected, right? We didn't expect the average park goer at Jurassic World to know anything about Blue or the raptors. That's as far as I've ever been concerned. So I want to go back and listen to that part just again. I'm kind of like learning all this with you guys. I actually never really fully listened to this before, so this is all fun. I'm liking this a lot.
I think there's probably a better way to put that. She has done more to inspire the public about dinosaurs than truly any other creature.
There's a better way to put that, which is up until Blue came.
Okay, so inspiring people to learn more about dinosaurs up until Blue came along.
Well, yes, but in many respects, it is the queen, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, who reigns as ruler of the dinosaur kingdom. Yes, she certainly is a strong alpha female. Other alphas sometimes are intimidated by strong alpha females.
That's not science. Owen is getting so frustrated with her comments. Oh my God, this is perfect. Like, this interaction is amazing. I love this so much. It is straight out of Jurassic World. They really nailed it. So I wonder if, like, Colin had anything to do with this script or anything like that, because it feels right. It really does. So I don't know if Universal Creative wrote these interactions, or it really does feel like something Colin would have written, but whoever did, nailed it. I think they did a great job. So that was the end of that. Moving on here. More News Network stuff. Dinosaur profiles. They talk about the Mosasaurus. I'm skipping around here now. We get more. Dr. Wu.
So finding the necessary amount of DNA was probably the first of our many great challenges.
Life, gas,
Claire.
ocean. So representing that idea in the park was crucial.
This is great stuff.
The enormous Tyrannosaurus Rex, and 3 times as heavy. This creature is like a giant sea lizard.
The Cretaceous era version grew to be about 40 feet long.
Skipping around here.
Traveled right through the center of the underwater.
Oh, and then they got this other guy back, I think. Oh, no, this got a different guy. So it looks like they have multiple, like, I don't know if he would be considered the same as Vic Hoskins, but they look like they're dressed the same. So I don't know if they're considered like security or what, but they look like they're dressed very similar. And that's 2 different guys that I saw so far. But really, that's kind of all I really want to showcase for the queue. I'm sure there's other content out there that you can try to scour and find, but that's from Inside Universal. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the attraction itself. Now, this is a ride video from Attractions Magazine. So you can find both of these videos, which I will link to in the show notes. Because you're going to want to look at them as well. You're going to want to actually see the entire things, because I just kind of skipped around that one. This one I'm going to try to walk through with you guys as much as I can. So this is the ride itself. So, once you get on the attraction, it starts out exactly the same. Now, I know a lot of people have been wondering about the ride, and we've tried to let everybody know as much as possible that this is the same ride. Universal has been releasing their press releases and stuff saying an all-new attraction, a new ride, a new attraction, and that's not necessarily the case. A lot of people have been confused when they got in line and rode the same ride. They've been like, well, this is weird, I expected something different. So some of the negative reactions have been that, like, it's the same thing, which I can't blame the average park goer for not knowing that, because Universal has strictly said this is a new ride, which is just absolutely not the case. It's the same ride that has been redone quite extensively, but it's the same ride. So hopefully we've already told you guys that enough where you understand what's going on here. But, when you typically board the ride, you get in and then you go up a quick lift hill. So we're going to go ahead and just play it right with it here. So I love it. They actually start the ride right off with Jurassic World. And they start playing the music from the movie. So, interesting. It's kind of like an in-world experience, but you're still just listening to the movie music. I don't know. But you crash down real quickly here into a nice tunnel. When dinosaurs ruled the earth. You get a Mosasaurus skeleton up there.
At the top of the food chain sat the Mosasaurus, apex predator of the deep.
You are clear for entry.
The doors open up, and what used to be the Ultrasaur Cove area with the 2 Ultrasaurs is now an indoor enclosure that looks like you're going in a tunnel between the Mosasaur tank. You see like a great white swimming along, and of course, it gets eaten by the Mosasaurus, which splashes down, getting the vehicle soaked. Huge splash effects there. The Mosasaurus goes underneath, crunches down on the great white, swims around on the opposite side. These are screens on both sides. And then it swims underneath again. And you see it on the left-hand side, where it actually bumps straight into the glass. Water starts spewing out all over the vehicle. That noise that you're hearing right there is actually the waterfall that goes right under that cave, which you've seen before. It's always been part of the attraction. So you go through a little cave system.
Where plant-eating dinosaurs roam freely. Keep an eye out for the Parasaurolophus, who likes to splash around in the water. You may even see our new baby Stegosaurus, one of the latest additions to our Jurassic World family.
So up on the ridge is a baby Stegosaurus, which I know has come and gone over the years, but it's there. It looks really great right now. On the right-hand side, you have Mama Stegs. So she looks great. The skin is all tightened up on that one. But essentially, it's the same exact thing. The only difference here is that they raised the tail on the Stegosaurus, so it actually doesn't dip into the water like it used to, which is a great item. A great thing. But somehow you do get soaked right there. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it does dip. Maybe I just haven't seen that. Again, the Parasaurolophus dips out of the water. And, of course, shoots water all over the place. And this is where it gets interesting, sort of. So I'm pausing it here. But you go into a new section. Or it's actually not a new section. It's the same section. But they've completely... Well, man, I'm just retracting everything I've said here. They mostly redo this section. It's very concrete right now. There's concrete elements everywhere. And the one thing that they did not take out is the raptor paddock. Like I was saying earlier, this is the spot where they filmed that scene, it seems like. So I'm assuming it's literally the same thing. Unless they recreated this on a set somewhere, but I don't think so. Oh, maybe. Actually, maybe I could retract what I said. We got to go back here. I want to see if they filmed this thing somewhere else. So... bear with me for a second. Watching through the ads by myself here. Skipping ads. Let's go ahead and look at this sequence here. Okay. So, they're doing an interview in front of a warning sign in the raptor paddock. And if I go back to the other one. Okay, so there's the warning sign. So maybe the only thing that changed here is the fact... Oh, you know what? I don't think this is the same spot. I'm completely changing... Wait, yeah. Sorry, bear with me. This is all happening on the fly. So... this is not the same paddock. Right? No, I don't think it is. Huh. Interesting. Wow, I'm sorry, I'm just clicking back and forth here. This does not seem to be the same paddock. So where is this paddock? Huh. Wow, that's so weird. This is all, like, blowing my mind right now. So I had just said earlier that they just filmed it in the attraction. But, man, was I wrong. Now, comparing the two things here, I am looking at one paddock, which has the interview with Claire and this woman here from the news network. So it looks nearly identical. They've done a great job at recreating this thing. There's subtle differences. The signs are in basically the same places. Wow, that's interesting. So you know what I do want to do? We're gonna do this on the fly. I want to look at Jurassic Park, the ride. I'm going to try to find a video right here. Jurassic World the ride. Jurassic World. No, see now Jurassic World the ride's taken over the YouTube search here. Jurassic. Oh, that's my video. Jurassic Park the ride. Here we go. This is from SoCal Attractions. I want to compare to see if they changed. Since I'm not like a resident of California, I don't really know all the elements here, but I just want to see what the paddock looked like prior. So as we're turning away from the Hadrosaur Cove, no, this is definitely the same. They haven't really changed much. Right? Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. So I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to make an educated guess here and say that they actually recreated this on a set somewhere. They actually made a new paddock, which really does resemble the one that you see in the attraction, but it's just not the same one. That's really, really interesting. I'm just, my mind is blown here. So you guys are listening along with me, learning this all on the fly, but it looks like the set that they filmed on was something completely different. Even though they already have it right here, I guess they just couldn't get the video equipment maybe on the other side of the water to film it. So, man, who knows? Who knows? That's very interesting. Oh, that's so weird, though. That is so weird. I'm just like wondering if maybe they like added extensions, but that just seems like too much work. Because there's a whole section on the right-hand side of the paddock which is not even there in the ride. So, all right, I got to move on from this. This is ridiculous, but I think we've come to the conclusion that it's not filmed on the ride itself. So, please retract what I said before. This is not filmed on the attraction. That's my educated guess right there. I'm saying so. So we're going to move on there. But they do have the Raptor paddock, as we've discussed many times over. They have the Raptor paddock from the original attraction, which is the Raptor paddock from Jurassic Park, which is not featured in Jurassic World whatsoever. So it's very interesting that they just reuse this instead of knocking it down and just creating something from scratch. Maybe the Jurassic World Raptor paddock, but no. We have the original paddock here, which kind of goes around the corner, and you see you're in Predator Cove. So now this is in the section where you used to have a lot of scaffolding and some boats and stuff like that, and there was the falling Explorer, which eventually stopped falling, and now it's Predator Cove. So on your left-hand side you get a big sign that says Predator Cove. It's all kinds of banged up. On your right-hand side, you have full concrete, and it looks like they're trying to resemble the Indominus Rex paddock. And I think it says Indominus Rex up there. And the doors are wide open. There are scratch marks on the doors. There are scratch marks all over the concrete on the other side. So the Indominus Rex was certainly trying to find a way out. There is no Indominus Rex present currently, but there are TV monitors. There's quite a few monitors, so this is a little odd. But there's monitors all over the place showcasing alerts. And I think like Claire and Chris Pratt, I always mix up the actual physical names, the real movie names, but Claire and Owen, telling you what to do and to be on alert. So also on your left-hand side, you have where it says Predator Cove, you also have a mess of containers and stuff like that all over the place, all bloody. Some medical kits and stuff like that all over the place, and then you get literally torn up pteranodons. Now these are slightly goofy looking. They're not all that good looking, to be honest. They look very rubbery, like they were just bought at like Target or something, like these giant pteranodons, and they just threw some blood, cut them apart. But I don't know. I'm hoping this is an issue that gets fixed or addressed before the actual grand opening, but right now it looks kind of hokey with all the blood and the scratch marks and these fake-looking pteranodons that are all broken up. There really should have been something extra here, but this section in itself is a tad boring, I would say. Nothing really happens here outside of movement on the monitors and the trees in the raptor pen. Hopefully new elements will come online eventually, but that's to be foreseen. So moving on here. There's bloody pteranodons. There's blood everywhere. You hear the raptors. The Indominus Rex paddock has a ton of trees in there, but no movement. On your left-hand side, there's more monitors. It looks maybe cracked. It's hard to tell. They're pretty black, so you can't really see them. On your right-hand side, you see more wording for the Indominus Rex. The bars are bent and destroyed. Bryce is talking about the security team. And then we get to the T-Rex Kingdom entry. So you have these amazing graphics on the left and right, very, very long graphics. And one of which I really, really despise, it's the long-necked T-Rex. You guys might know what I'm talking about. It's been used on a lot of merchandise packaging and other stuff. There's a very, very long-necked T-Rex. I'm kind of upset about that. It's kind of goofy looking. So that's been used here in the attraction. It is there. So as you make your way towards the ramp to go up into the show building, you see these good-looking graphics outside of the long-necked T-Rex. But they're letting you know that the Indominus is out, and you got to stay safe here, guys. You got to keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Don't want to get that Indominus Rex biting you as you head up here. Now, it's this facility is much darker, not as elaborate as it used to be. There's still some scaffolding and stuff, but it's not nearly the same lift hill that you used to see. There you get Owen. And then, we're about to enter T-Rex Kingdom. But first, the raptor falls from the roof and jiggles around. It is actually holding some cables. And you splash down just real subtly into T-Rex Kingdom. And I'm going to pause it there for a second. It's very dark. There's trees all over the place. I love this section. I think, as far as I can tell, I have not ridden this ride, but it looks like a very cool section. Because they're trying to simulate T-Rex Kingdom, it seems, at night. I think it's great work, because previously it was just like sirens going off, very mechanical looking areas, pipes and stuff like that. So they've upped the ante here, and it's very dark, very scary looking, and you're just kind of wandering through T-Rex Kingdom. You had a Dilophosaurus, so they moved the Dilophosauruses from down below. There was 3 down below, but now I'm only seeing 2 in the attraction. So one's on your left here, spitting water at you. You go through the dark underneath a tree, it looks like. It's hard to tell. It's very, very dark. Oh, and then the Indominus pops its head down from the roof. Kind of like the T-Rex used to do, but this time it's the Indominus Rex head. Almost getting you. And then up ahead, you have more, another Dilophosaurus spitting at you. And then Blue. So that is really, really cool. You get this moving blue animatronic. Now, moving, I don't mean that in typical sense where the head and the arms move. This blue actually walks around the set. That is huge. That is very, very big. That's a big deal when it comes to animatronic work. You know, you get stuff like I think Olaf does it at the Frozen ride, kind of wanders around. Something else that it did it recently, I think. Kind of blanking on it at the moment, but Blue walks around, which is really, really cool. I think out in Galaxy's Edge, Hondo kind of walks around as well. So here we have walking Blue. It's very cool. I'm going to go back here so we can kind of get another look at it. But Blue kind of comes out of the darkness. moves the arms around, barks at the Indominus, makes all kinds of noises, moves around. That's cool. And then, so at this point in the ride, you were at the peak of the ride. You guys know this ride's about to splash down into the water. But you're at this point, you're up as high as you can get. It's very dark. There's rock work on your left-hand side, trees all over the place, and the Indominus Rex pokes her head out on the left-hand side. So this should be the full-body Indominus Rex. As far as I can tell, we haven't really gotten a great look at the Indominus Rex just yet, because I am led to believe, as far as I know, that this Rex is kind of in B mode. Whether A and B mode exists on this attraction for these animatronics, I'm not too sure, or maybe they're just not fully operational at this standpoint. But typically when it comes to animatronics and stuff like that, there's A modes and there's B modes. So A mode would essentially be fully operational. You're seeing all the movement, everything that you're going to get from this dinosaur, from this animatronic. B mode is typically there could be an assortment of things that maybe they're trying to run through the capacity quicker. They want to run it in B mode to kind of quicken the pace, or there's some kind of issue. Maybe the animatronic is not working fully. I'm not saying that's the case here, but also they could just be testing this as they are. This is a test phase, technical rehearsals, soft openings. They might just not be running it fully, which is capable as well. They don't always run these things to their fullest extent, which would be B mode. So here, it does not seem like it's running to its fullest extent, because at this point, I would not say this is an impressive moment. But that's just me from watching from a ride video in my studio here. I have no experience riding this thing in person, so I can't really judge it. But what I see here, and knowing theme park attractions and having a good base of knowledge on them, it seems to be moving very subtly, moving its head around and not really doing all that much. From all the behind the scenes video, we have seen the full body. We know that the full body exists, that there's attachment for the legs, there's 2 arms. This thing is going to be giant. But right now, all I'm seeing is a head. So I'm hoping that, sorry, I just lost my video here. I'm hoping that we will see more to this attraction, or more to this Indominus Rex as time goes on, because I need a little bit more to sell me on the experience, because when you get to the top of this lift hill, the Indominus and the T-Rex are supposed to be fighting each other. They've kind of amped up this battle between the two dinosaurs, but it just hasn't happened yet. We haven't really showcased that or seen that. But right now, all I see... Here, we're going to play it again. Oh, I went back a little bit too far. We got Blue here again over on the side. And then over here on the left, the Indominus Rex goes up. It's roaring. It's just roaring. That's it. It's just kind of moving its head up and down. It's not even near the ride vehicle or anything. And then it just goes into shadow mode. And it's roaring a little bit more. So I think there's some technical issues, whether it's capacity-based or maybe they're trying to slow down the ride or something. But the ride kind of pauses at the top when I think it's probably not going to over the long haul. But right now it pauses up there. The Indominus Rex does not do a whole lot, but the T-Rex, as always, bursts through the shadows and starts roaring, and it looks really impressive. But the two dinosaurs are nowhere near each other. The T-Rex is in the same old spot. So, once you go over that lift hill and you fall all the way down, that's where the T-Rex has always been and where it will be, for now, or for forever. But the Indominus Rex, I'm going to assume with pretty good certainty that this thing is in B mode and maybe will be moving out a little bit further once it actually is fully operational. So don't quote me, don't take my word for it if you don't want to, that this is in B mode, that we're not getting the fullest extent of this audio animatronic, but I believe it will be moving more. So hopefully we see that in the near future here. But right now, you can't get too much of a look at it. The T-Rex is there, looks awesome. And then the splashdown. So it splashes down, and even the wave effects do not seem to be fully operational. So that seems to be the case with a lot of this attraction so far, that maybe it's not fully operational just yet. They're testing everything out. Like I said, this is technical rehearsals. They're trying to get their hands on all the effects and make sure they got a grasp on what the capacity is looking like, how many people they can get through this ride in an hour, and just seeing like what works and what doesn't, you know? So going back to the Indominus Rex, the Mosasaurus, because that was the full ride. That was it. That's everything. I know I've talked for like 40 minutes now. My God. But going back to the Mosasaurus, now we know this Mosasaurus tank is supposed to showcase different weather, different lighting, depending on when you're riding this attraction. So far, I haven't really seen that in the videos. Now, I haven't watched every single video, but the ones I have seen seem to be the same time of day. But I would assume that this is an element that maybe they just haven't worked out fully yet, that they're still testing everything out, just making sure that the video works first. Now, I will say that, let me take a drink here because I'm like losing my voice. The video here, so we got many screens here in the Mosasaurus tank, and it looks beautiful. I think it looks beautiful from the ride videos. Again, this is all notes and stuff from the ride videos. I think it looks beautiful, though. It looks really, really good. It seems to be a ton of depth when you're talking about looking into these screens. It really does look like there's a perspective on the coral, how far back the Mosasaurus is, what's beyond the Mosasaurus. You see the top of the water skimming all the way pretty far. So I'm getting a good grasp that like this is a big tank on either side of me. It really does look like it. So far, I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing here in the Mosasaurus arena. I like the water effects, the spraying, all that stuff looks really, really good. I do not think, now I know that we've talked about this before, but I do not think this is operational just yet either. The boats are supposed to shake when the Mosasaurus, I'm assuming it's only going to shake when the Mosasaurus bumps into the tank. So that'll sell the effect more than it's being sold right now. As far as I can tell, and as far as I've heard from people that have actually ridden the attraction, the boat has not shaken. I don't know. The boat has not moved just yet. So expect that to come online later on as they get their footing here. But this part looks really, really cool. Not too much more to say outside of I think it looks pretty great, and I'm happy with it. The outdoor stuff is kind of lackluster as far as I can tell, because they haven't changed anything outside of reskinning these dinosaurs, tightening things up a little bit, maybe changing the tail on the Stegosaurus as far as it looks. But there is that water element that sprays you, but I'm not sure what that comes from. But yeah, I think the word on the street is maybe people are a little disappointed with the fact that this has remained the same. But I'm fine with it. I think it looks fine. The issues that I'm having with the attraction so far from the videos is the Predator Cove. Audio-wise, there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on audio-wise. You hear the sparks, you hear the raptors, you hear the monitors spewing facts that, it's a code red, the Indominus is out, all this stuff. But outside of that, there's just nothing happening. So it does kind of seem like a very relaxed portion of the ride, even though they're trying to build up the anticipation here, but there's just nothing scary. So I'm hoping that more elements will be added here. Because it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And those pteranodons do not look all that great, all that impressive. And it's funny because in these videos, you can't see what is happening on these monitors whatsoever. They just look like black screens that are not operating, but I know they are working. It's just probably the glare and the video and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you can do to fix this. Hopefully some movement inside the Indominus Rex paddock. Personally, I would like them to remove those Pteranodons and maybe add something with a little bit of movement. Hey, put the compies back. The compies seem to be missing from the attraction, so I don't know if that's one of those features that they will add back or not. And I do think that we're missing a Dilophosaurus. So as far as I can tell from this video, it seems like there's only 2 Dilophosaurus, and at some point during this attraction there was 3, so you would think that they maybe have these things laying around. I don't know the full history of Jurassic Park, the ride, over the years, what has come and gone. I know a lot has come and gone. I've seen videos where, the Parasaur is not there, the baby stag is not there. I've seen several videos with the Dilophosaurus not all fully operational. So who knows how many are still left over, but it would be maybe nice to see one of those added in this section if that's the case. There needs to be some movement. There's no movement here outside of the trees when you first enter the paddock with the raptors. But there needs to be something because the TVs for me don't seem to be cutting it. But again, I haven't ridden the attraction. And yeah, I feel like I talked a lot about T-Rex Kingdom. I think it looks pretty great. The lift hill's fine. The raptor that pops down from the ceiling. So that's just a remolding of the same raptor that was there. So it's just a reskin of that. And it's kind of like the old style raptor that was in the attraction. So it doesn't really look like the Jurassic World raptors. It looks like the old kind of raptors a little bit. And I can't really tell what's going on with the coloring. It kind of looks green. So I don't know if we're supposed to just say, hey, that's, Echo or Delta, I think, is a little green as well. But I don't know what's going on there. I have no idea. Maybe it's just some random raptor. But, yeah, it's hard to tell. But it's a weird thing, the raptor that just kind of slides down. This one's holding on to 2 wires that it just bit through, I guess, for some reason. Yeah. Outside of that, I think the top looks pretty great. But I think despite some issues here and there and a lot of reusing things, I think they've done a wonderful job. You got to give them credit for that Mosasaurus tank, the walk around blue, and all the effects that we haven't seen just yet. So please be patient because there's some really, really great stuff coming, I know, and some stuff that, they haven't revealed. So I'm very excited to see these things come to light. And I think this is going to be a great attraction over the long haul. I think a lot of people are happy with it, to be honest. I have seen a lot of outrage from the Jurassic community saying that they maybe hoped for more. The theme park community seems to be pretty upbeat about this. They kind of knew what was taking place. So the theme park goers, the theme park community, the obsessed people knew that this was not a new ride. They knew that we'd be seeing a lot of the same elements. So they're kind of thinking it's on par with what we all expected. And then there's the average park goer who is probably, as far as I could tell, they're pretty blown away with the attraction. I mean, people are waiting 4+ hours for this thing. So it is a big deal. I do want to go back to some fan reactions as well because I did put out a poll over on Twitter. I'm trying to find this information as I'm talking right now because I'm professional and did not get this prepared ahead of time. But, okay, so here's the poll. I said, after watching Jurassic World, the ride, POV videos, or actually riding it, what do you think of the attraction? Now, I had added these options. Game changer, decent refresh, it's fine, needed more, or it looks bad. So that was 4 options there. And for game changer, 20% voted game changer. 40% voted decent refresh. 34% voted it's fine, needed more. And 6% voted it looks bad. So that was we got quite a few votes there, and 40% won decent refresh. So I think that's good. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I think it's a pretty decent refresh. A lot of people are not giving it enough credit for all those elements that I talked about already that are pretty major drastic changes. So I think people are going to be very excited once everything is fully operational. And then I want to talk about some of the comments here. So Han Brolo 77, my buddy Hunter, says, no Triceratops action, so I consider it a flop. So I feel like he's partially joking, even though he told me he was serious. No Triceratops action. So I think that's part of playing into, people being disappointed with the middle section where there's no real updates. So we just get the Stegosaurus again, in the Parasaurolophus. There's no Triceratops action in there. So I get it, man. I get it. Nisha here says, the movement of the dinosaurs is underwhelming, especially the Indominus and the T-Rex appear to be pretty much just roaring, bobbing heads. Only creative bit, in my opinion, was the Mosasaurus splash from above. So yeah, I mean, that kind of plays into the fact that I think this is not fully operational just yet. I think you got to give them a little bit more creative credit when it comes to the blue. What we should hopefully be seeing with the Indominus Rex. And honestly, I think a lot of credit needs to go to the Mosasaurus tank. That thing is beautiful, and the work they did to enact that, creating this full structure, and like I said, the movement that you're going to be experiencing when the Indominus hits the tank, and like I said, the depth perspective and all that stuff is really huge. And hopefully once they add in the lighting change, it's going to be very creative. So I think you got to give it a little credit there for the creativity. I know a lot of the other elements are not super creative in the middle, but I do love the creative elements. Because you got to consider how much changed in the top of the ride. It is completely changed. You're no longer indoors. I mean, you are. You're technically in a structure, but story-wise, you're in an outdoor structure or an outdoor area. Moving on here from to Debrasaurus Rex. She says, I've seen a few videos. It now looks more like the one in Orlando, which has always had less. I love the Mosasaur. The Indominus looks and sounds great. The pacing is off, though. The action is too slow, which may be why people feel it's lacking. JP River Adventure has always been my chill ride. They would benefit from filling the gaps with more dinosaurs. Yeah, I get that totally. They would definitely benefit from filling those gaps. There is quite a few gaps there in the middle, so it would be nice to see something else added there. Morgan at Crocodile says, it's fine. The Mosasaurus tank is a bit really well thought out and cool, but the original opening is so much more impactful. I could go on forever about everything, and I would have kept or added or changed, but I think it's okay. Not as good as the original, but not the worst. I think that's a fair assessment. As far as the impact in the beginning, sure. I think I can agree that maybe the impact is not there with the beginning, because when you got that Jurassic Park theme, the welcome to Jurassic Park, and the gates swung open and you saw the dinosaurs there and the wonderful view and all the water elements and the rock work, that was pretty impressive. The dinosaurs were not that impressive. They did not look that good. You have to be honest with that. They did not look good. In this case, I think maybe you're not getting that full impactful entrance, but what you are getting is way better, in my opinion, than the Ultrasaur Cove there, or Lagoon, or whatever it was called. I think the Mosasaurus tank is way better than the Ultrasaurs. I will be happy to never see that Ultrasaur area ever again in either or any of the attractions. I think there's 3 of these total. So yeah, I hope that disappears for good from all the attractions. The Red Raptor here says, I love it, but I think the Predator Cove needs work. That bit is pretty empty. Yeah, definitely agree there. Yeah. Mateo here says, surprised they kept those dopey-looking Stegosaur animatronics at the beginning. The Mosasaur bit looks nice, but the CG is a little iffy. The T-Rex and the Indominus should have been fighting, not separated. So, Yeah, I don't know if you wrote it particularly, but the CG, I don't think you can judge that just yet based off of ride videos. Maybe you wrote it, maybe you think it looks iffy, but I think with frame rates and a lot of the camera work that's been going on, it definitely looks more impressive in person, as far as I've heard. So maybe hedge your judgment just on that so far. Also, the T-Rex and the Indominus should be fighting, in the future here. So just be patient with that one. The Stegosaurus stuff, yeah, I mean, they do look better. You have to say they do look better because they tightened up the skins and everything. Everything looks, pretty good. I think the mother Stegosaurus looks pretty good. The baby one maybe less so, but I'm not too fussed with those ones. Alan F. Martinez says, I think the Indominus needed to attack the boat and miss to make it more menacing. Sure. From that perspective, from up top, it's not going to attack. It's a little too far away to attack. The one does attack. I mean, it does kind of get very close, the other Indominus head. So that's about as close of an attack you're going to get. Robert Parrott here says, I haven't seen the video, but just on principle, it needs more dinosaurs. Hey, well, you got to watch the video before you judge. But yeah, there is quite a few dinosaurs in there, but I'll agree. It certainly needs more dinosaurs. You could always use more dinosaurs. So that's what people are thinking there. That's all I'm going to stick with for now. But yeah, I think a lot of the Jurassic fans seem to be underwhelmed. I don't know how that bodes for the future. Hopefully people will come around with it, but maybe that's just a fatigue on Jurassic World. A lot of fans are really wanting more Jurassic Park when everybody just keeps taking it away from us. I think, like I said, I think theme park fans are pretty happy with the update, very impressed by it. And I think the general public's going to love it. I really do. And I do not think we're going to see a hesitation on bringing this to Orlando, but who knows? Maybe that it will never happen. But that's it. I just talked for an hour. I did not intend to do that. I am very sorry. I mean, a lot of it was me really trying to figure out what was going on with that raptor paddock. But I did it. We got through it, and this is it. I did not expect this episode to even be half this long. So, we did it, guys. We made an hour. We broke the hour mark. So I hope you enjoyed this look at Jurassic World, the ride. Again, I have not ridden this attraction. I have not walked through the queue. So I do not have the official word to discuss this or to judge it because I haven't gone through it. And I think you need to actually experience it before you say this is good or this is bad fully. I like what I see. I think it looks pretty great. And from what I've heard from people that I trust, I think the word is good. And I'm very excited to test this thing out and to give it a go. Hopefully we can do that for you guys soon. Hopefully we can bring a lot more content from the ride. Hopefully I can get out there soon. I'd very much like to do that. I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to more content from the attraction. And of course, we do have much more theme park discussion coming soon. So stay tuned for all of that. And what do you say we head out of Main Street and get back to this episode, get this episode wrapped up here. Thank you guys so much. And I don't know how to end the segment. I really don't. So, see you later. Thank you so much for listening to the 196th episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. I just appreciate you guys so much. Every one of you that are listening each and every week, or if this is the first time that you're ever listening, I really, really appreciate you taking the time to do so. It means a lot. And I don't have anybody particular to thank this episode because, hey, I did it all myself. So thanks, man. you did a great job. I loved all the stuff you talked about in the beginning with the intro and the stuff about the ride. Really great job myself. So giving it up to myself today. So this is weird. But getting back to thanking you guys. You guys are awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and dive straight into the reviews. Maybe we're going to have a shorter outro today. But I'm going to showcase a somewhat new review here from July. So this one comes from Old Crow 85. And it says, well-rounded podcast and an essential for any JP fan to listen to. It says, I've been a fan of the original franchise since '93. As I got older, my love for it somewhat dwindled. But when Jurassic World was announced, I was completely thrown back into my childhood, and I needed more. Thankfully, I stumbled across this podcast back in October of 2017. I've listened to most of the back catalog, and I haven't missed an episode. Brad is a great host and does great work with the YouTube channel for this podcast as well. This podcast has its finger on the pulse of the community, and The Wire with Aaron is probably my favorite segment. Keep up the great work. Jeremy. Oh man, thank you, Jeremy. That really encapsulates everything that I try to say here. Is like, we're really trying to give you guys a community podcast, something that, I think we do really, really well. And especially with stuff like The Wire. With Aaron, that segment has become so huge for the show, and I almost never expected that. Sorry, Aaron, I'm not underestimating you and your prowess, but I just didn't expect such a great outpouring for that segment because it was introduced so late in the game. We're only, I think, 10 or so episodes into The Wire, so it's really not that far in, but I think we've really got a handle on what people want to hear when it comes to The Wire segment. And the best part about it is it's about you guys and what you want to hear, because we're picking and choosing things that we've heard from around the community, whether it's somebody on Twitter, in our Facebook group, or a stream on YouTube, something that's out there that people have been talking about, even group chats and stuff like that. I'm in a ton of these group chats, and we pull stuff from all over the place that we want to talk about, because it's the stuff that the hardcore fans, everybody that's out there that is listening to this or following along on Twitter, everybody wants to hear these things, and we do too. We want to talk about them. We want to break them down. So I really, really love that segment, and I think it does handle the community in a great way, and also shine light on community members and Toronto Raptors. We did a great job with that spotlight, huh? But yeah, I love that segment, and I really appreciate all the kind words there, Jeremy. It means a lot. And the fact that a lot of people say they've gone back and they've listened to almost the entire back catalog really makes me cringe just a tad. You guys know I am so hypercritical of our past work here, but I think we've produced great quality for you guys. Myself maybe not included in that statement, but I think as a show we've produced something unlike anything else. So I'm really, really happy with all of that. And to see where we've come and gone over these past 4 years, that's crazy. So I'm really excited by that. And so, thank you very much, Jeremy, for that awesome review. And to anybody else out there, if you guys leave reviews, we're going through the back catalog of reviews, and also, showcasing all the new ones as well. So if you if you write a review, you could read them too if you want. That would probably be boring for you, but go ahead. I'm going to do them anyway here. I'm going to read them myself. But if you guys want to write a review, that's the right word. If you want to write that review, go ahead and I will read it so that you don't have to. It all makes sense, right? Right? So thank you guys so much for the reviews each and every week. We really, really appreciate it. It helps us out a lot for other Jurassic Park fans out there who want to find a great show to listen to be a part of. And, that's the thing. I know a lot of you guys out there request certain kinds of episodes or certain content that you want to hear. And if that's the case, if you have something that you want to hear on the Jurassic Park podcast, you have a few options here. So one, you can just let me know. I'm going to try to do my best to work on each and every idea that you guys have. Sometimes it's a lot. We do have, our episodes are typically scheduled out pretty far. Sometimes, like a week like this, I'll either bump something because, we got to talk about Jurassic World, the ride, or, something else may pop up. But typically, our episodes are booked pretty far in advance. So, yeah, if you have an idea, let me know. I'll do my best to try to cover it and to try to find, like, a specialist or somebody who can actually bounce the ideas around with me, because that's the best option. I don't really know everything, to be honest, I do my best when it comes to most of these topics, and I do have a good grasp on a lot of it, but not everything. So that's the first thing. If you want something, let me know. I'll do my best to try to figure it out. Secondly, if you have an idea yourself, make it yourself. I know a lot of people are, interested in making their own segments and stuff like that. I do have people a lot reach out about segments. I know I'm sorry, everybody. I have a little backlog of that. I'm still trying to catch up on all those people that have reached out. I know there's a few out there still. So if you have not heard back from me, please just be patient. I'm trying to get back to everybody in a timely fashion. I know, we have some mailbag content from like January or even earlier. So I know we're in July, but we still have a lot of stuff. Like, my backlog in my email box is out of control, and I am one person. I'm trying to do the best I can. So if you guys have a segment or an idea, please share it with me, because I'll help you work on a segment or an idea like that to try to build a concept so you can do it yourself, because we're always looking for more and more people to contribute. If you have an idea, let me know that idea. We'll try to work together to build that idea, and I'm going to rely on you guys to record your own segments and to do your own thing, to process your own, content, because that's the original concept behind this show, is for everybody to produce their own content that they want to hear. That's the reason I started the show, and that's the reason why I give you the option to be a part of it, is because if you want to hear something, make it happen. That's all I can say. So I appreciate everybody reaching out. Please continue to do so. I will try to get back to everybody as soon as I possibly can. Bear with me. I'm one person. I'm trying to do it all. So that's my recommendation for this week. Reach out. Tell me, what do you want to hear on the show? Whether it's a guest, and a topic idea, something that you want to hear from us, or if you have a segment of your own, let me know, and we'll try to work together to build something awesome. So thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode. I'm going to go ahead and roll the outro.
Saddle up. Let's get this movable feast underway.
Please give us a follow on Twitter at Jurassic Park Pod, and myself at Brad Jost. Also on Facebook and Instagram at Jurassic Park Podcast. Don't forget to join the Jurassic Park Podcast group on Facebook. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, our website, or wherever else podcasts are found. So please be sure to subscribe. Also, don't miss our toy hunts and reviews, in-depth bonus content, live streams, gameplay, events and theme park coverage, and so much more on our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We will read your reviews at the end of every episode, so please be sure to spare no expense. Don't miss us on the web at JurassicParkPodcast.com, where you'll find today's episode show notes, wonderful articles, bios from our contributors, and so much more. If you want to get a hold of us, you can fill out the contact form on our website or email us, JurassicParkPod@gmail.com. We're always looking for new segments, contributors, mailbag submissions, or anybody who just wants to say hello. Feel free to call our voicemail line at any time to leave us a message. That number is 732-825-7763. Thanks for listening, and enjoy.
5 minutes. Drop what you're doing and leave now.